All right, y'all. I hope everybody is doing well. And boy, what what a holiday weekend, boy. There's so much going on. You would never know. And were y'all able to hear the music? It might have been muted. Okay. Well, it's okay. So anyway, I'm going to show you a video. And before I show you, it is a white man out of South Africa. But what he is saying actually applies even to us here, and how they have used the propaganda to spread what he said is really lies. We're the most violent, we're the most criminal, we're this, we're stupid, stuff like that. He said they know that stuff ain't true. But you got to look at it on a spiritual level. This was their way of sinking us to the bottom. How you doing, Big Judah? Shalom. Sinking us to the bottom and elevating themselves to the top. And the most powerful thing that has been used against us is the propaganda machine. There's no doubt about it. Worldwide, you can go all around the globe and people will have negative feelings about us because of that propaganda machine. And we know this is true. Or you go out on the street and some woman is clutching her purse or quickly locking the door as you approach, like you're going to jump in their car. So there's a on why they wanted that to happen to us. And it has worked. It really has. So let me share my screen and we'll get started. Let's see here.
Grew up in apartheid South Africa.
I'm going to start it over. All right. First, before I get started, can everybody see my screen? Give me a 1 if you can see my screen. There's times when I think you can see it, and then people are saying, no, I don't see it, or no, there's no volume. I just want to make sure everybody can see and hear this. Okay. Thank you.
So I grew up in apartheid South Africa as a English-speaking white boy. I only became politically conscious when I was already 18 years of age, because prior to that, I had been subjected to and sucked in this incredible propaganda of victimization of the white people, where every piece of news, every message we were getting, every joke, the butt of every joke was the stupidity of the black man, the inability of the black man to look after himself, never mind the country, to be ignorant, uneducated, break everything he touched. The messaging was that all violence was black violence, that all crime was black crime, that you had to fear black people. And a huge amount of that fear was that if we let them into the political process, into the governance of the country, that they would do to us exactly what we had done to them for decades, which would be to turn around and oppress us, to murder us, to take our stuff, to move into our houses. It was a very popular story that the ANC, prior to the 94 election, when it was still an illegal organization and Nelson Mandela was still in jail, and the armed wing was exiled to Zambia and Mozambique, Umkhonto Wesizwe, was that they promised all of our domestic servants that those servants would be given the house they worked in when the ANC ruled. And these stories were told amongst the whites to bolster our resolve never to let these black people run our country. And it was only when I became conscious of that from 18 onwards that I realized not only was this a terrible lie that was actually oppressing us as well as the people that we as a white nation, white minority, were oppressing, but that actually What happened subsequently from 1994 onwards was far more of a reflection of the nature of black South Africans than any fears we as white South Africans had been fed and believed, right? And I see direct parallels with what's happening in Palestine and Israel. We've been fed this bullshit of Israel as victim, of the Zionist government as defending, this idea that the entire Arab world wanted to wipe them off the map, when in fact, prior to the Nakba, prior to Palestine being given to Israel by the colonial powers, primarily Britain, many Jews lived very happily and harmoniously alongside Muslims and Christians within that region. They weren't oppressed there. They became the oppressor through the Zionist ambition of a few Israelis. White government for many, many years in South Africa needed the violence of Umkhonto Wesizwe. They needed the odd bomb to go off. They needed terror attacks because it justified the further repression. And I've told stories about when I was in the South African Defence Force in 1987, 88. 88, 89. The things that were done by the intelligence service to undermine the ANC and other liberation struggles, and to pit black against black, to distract black people from action against the oppressive minority and the history of oppression. And it's time to step aside from what we've been told and look at the truth, look at the reality, look at the history, educate ourselves, and make a moral judgment based on our real values as a human.
Yeah. He said a lot of really key things in here. And, they have tried very hard to make themselves victims. Or you'll hear them, because I've seen several videos over the years of black on white crime. And I was like, what the hell is up with that? They kill us a hell of a lot more than we kill them. But if you listen to them, they're just getting slaughtered in the streets around the clock by our people. Now you can understand why they've been doing this all along. They're taught to do this, and we know they're taught to do it. But showing this actually shows you how worldwide their anti-black racism really truly is against our people. So we know here in America, when you turn on the news, this is a big reason why I stopped watching the news. You turn on the news and everything about us is negative. Everything. And I got tired of it. And I eventually turned the TV off. I don't sit in front of the television anymore. The only time I might is to watch a movie. I have Netflix and a few other things, and we have cable, but to watch their news, their propaganda machine, I won't watch it for that very reason. So he's admitting a lot of the things that they say about us, they know it's not true, but it is what they had to use to keep themselves in power, you know? So we know they use propaganda, their media and everything and what they teach each other. The bottom line is to keep us down. But I have to tell you, over on TikTok, boy, it's almost like a confessional over there. You can get so many videos of them confessing the truth. It's not even funny. There's a lot over there. So it's amazing. But yeah, this man said they know what they're saying about us is false. We're not doing even a fraction of what we're being accused of. But if saying those things is going to keep them from losing that top spot, then they'll just gladly sit there and lie about us. So, and you also, yes, you're right, Big Judah. TikTok is also a beast. It most certainly is. And you also have to look at the fact they're in desperation mode right now. They are. That's why you're going to see so much confessing going on in these last days. They're scared. And you heard what he said. They're afraid of What they did to us is going to happen to them. That is a big, huge fear, not only in South Africa, but over here as well. They're scared. They're scared of retribution. They're afraid of everything they did to us is going to come back on them. And you got to remember the Most High says they get double. They get double. Trust me, this is haunting them. It's haunting them every day of their lives now. And I mean, even when you watch this man speak, you can see the fear. That fear is real. That fear is real. And you're going to see more and more of this. Oh yeah, we know vengeance belongs to the heavenly Father. It absolutely does. And whatever he shells out to them, that's just the way it is. You know, we can't stop anything. It is written. It is written and it will be done, plain and simple. Yeah, well, that is a big reason why they want to get rid of TikTok because of all the things that are being said over there. They don't want that out. You know, I saw, in the beginning of the Israel Hamas war, I saw a lot of videos over there, people saying, I don't even know what y'all fighting over. The land don't belong to either one of you. You're not even the real people. I mean, you know how many I've seen lots of videos over there where people are getting on there and saying, I don't know what y'all fighting over. The land don't belong to either one of you. I was like, wow, people know. And it is not just us. Most of the videos that I saw with people saying that were Gentiles. It wasn't even our people, it was Gentiles. So it is going to get more treacherous for them in their psyche as we move forward. You can tell it's taken a psychological effect on them. And I'm noticing it, and I'm sure many of you are noticing in their psyche, they know something is about to happen to them. They know it because if they didn't, you wouldn't see so many of these videos cropping up with them confessing what they have been doing to us, and they know it's wrong, but they'll go ahead and do it anyway. I'm starting to see these a lot. Oh, yes, it's definitely a wrap for them, Big Judah. Absolutely. It is. And I think the Most High is putting that spirit on them, and it's making them very uneasy. Well, yeah, you hear of the politicians because they really want it gone. Even the last GOP debate, I think it was Nikki Haley. She was talking about if she gets in, she gonna pull the plug on TikTok and get people completely off of there. They want it gone bad. If you notice, even politicians have lost a lot of control, and there's a lot of infighting, and they can't even get their act together politically. So yeah, their world is falling apart. And as we move along, it is getting so obvious. I even saw a video about a few months ago, and it's like, and the person was saying the whole world is watching America fall. We can all see America fall. We're all looking at it. And I said, yeah, it is obvious. It is very obvious now. Mhm. And you know what? Prior to the war, I was reading articles that Biden and Netanyahu really was not talking. They really didn't like each other. But when this war broke out, look at how America jumped on the bandwagon and started supplying them with military gear, money, and anything they needed, and humanitarian supplies. They jumped up and did it, regardless to the fact that these two men, they claim they really don't get along with that well. Because if you remember, Netanyahu couldn't stand Obama, and at that time, Joe Biden was the vice president. So he was barely on speaking terms with Obama and Biden back then. And even to this day, they said the two barely speak. They rarely speak, but it did not stop America from funding the war, just like Ukraine. Mhm. I mean, at the end of the day, they're all the same people, and that's why they're helping them out. They're all the same people. Well, Jill Biden is Jewish. Jill Biden is Jewish, and you can go look this up. She is Jewish, and Kamala Harris, her husband, is a Jewish man. So, you got a president and a vice president, and both of them have Jewish spouses. So, so it shouldn't be surprising that America, regardless of what the relationship was like, they were going to dive in there and help these folks. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I notice, and you can tell things are falling apart politically because if you notice, their infighting always becomes public knowledge. It leaks out into the public and you see and you hear about them not getting along. And that right there is telling you you're looking at the downfall of a country right there. Mhm. Yeah. Well, everybody's always trying to have ties with us, Malcolm Jordan, you know, and they're still all over the media, all over social media trying to get us to, let them know, "Oh, yeah, what you're doing is okay." That's what they want from us. "What you're doing is okay. We back you." Yeah, no, we're not doing it, and they're upset by that. Some people think it's a moral thing. I think it's a spiritual thing. Spiritually, they want to be connected to us because they know our prayers are heard. I believe it's more of a spiritual thing and why they want us on their side, why they want us to tell them it's okay and we're going to pray for you and we're going to be there. We're going to back you up in what you're doing. That's what they want from us more than anything. That's what they want. Yeah. And see, we're not giving it away anymore. We're not giving those things away. Like I said to y'all before, when Roe v. Wade was overturned, white women came on X and I was watching it happen. And they were like, "Black women, stand with us. Come protest with us." They overturned Roe v. Wade. And the black women that were responding was like, "No, you're on your own. You never stand with us on any of our issues." And they brought up Daniel Hawthclaw raping all of those black women, and nobody came to our aid. Nobody said, "I'm really sorry. We're going to stand and support you." Nothing. Even when that trial was going on, nobody came and stood by the women. And, and the women were letting them know, "You are not our sisters. We don't have no sisterhood with you." But they always, whenever anything goes down, our support is very important to them. It's very important, and like I said, I believe it's a very spiritual thing. You know? Now, think about it. We're supposed to be at the bottom. We're supposed to be insignificant, and nobody cares about us. But when something happens, the first thing they want is our support, our prayers. They want us to be there. They want us to tell them everything's going to be all right. From the lowest of the low, the most lowly people on the planet, you want this from? No, they all know who we are. They all know who we are. Mhm. Yes, it is, Willie Rivers. It sure is payback time. It sure is. All right, y'all, I'm not gonna keep you any longer. Thank you so much for being here. I have another live stream coming up at 2 o'clock, and I hope you all can be there. It's 2 o'clock Eastern Time. Yeah, our silence is disturbing them. Now, look, I'm glad you brought that up, Gabriella. When we speak up, they don't want to hear us. They want to silence us. They want us to go away, shut up, you know. But when we don't speak, you notice how when we don't speak, like support them in this war, you notice how they are disturbed by our silence, but they have been giving us silence in the cold shoulder the entire time. But now that we are doing it to them, wow, talk about stirring up their spirits like a nest of bees, isn't it? They are deeply disturbed that we won't come and join them. So, y'all, please enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are in this country. Shalom, family.